Hey guys, Pyro Plays Games here, back with another video. And today's video we're doing something a little differently. We're gonna do a story time video. Today's video is gonna be about my first ever crazy girlfriend. So let's get into it. So this took place around 2011. So I've been going to this teen center for a while. It's summer when I lived in North Attleboro at the time. It was a teen center. I used to always go there a lot of times. That's how I met some of my good old friends of mine when I lived in that town and all that jazz. But yeah, I met a lot of people there. I was hung up. Hang out with people there. I made a lot of connections there. Stuff like that, right? So there's this girl that started going there, a new girl, right? Her name was, let's just call her Jay for now. You know she's a B word. I'm going to keep her information disclosed, you know what I mean? But yeah, her name was Jay, and so I started talking to her for a couple days, right? Some people told me I shouldn't date her because she was kind of like, I don't know, she dressed kind of inappropriately at the time. I was 11 years old at the time. I think she was also 11. I know, you're going to say it right now. Greg, why were you dating 11-year-olds when you're 11? But that's a little too young to be dating. I know. I get what you guys are saying, At the time, I was a naive kid. I didn't know about, all that jazz. I didn't really go to I haven't done biology class yet. Or when I was having it, I was skipping the classes. Stuff like that, right? But no, so we started talking for a bit. I started hanging out and we started going to the park, doing different things, going to swing sets, like going around town, going in the woods and hiking, stuff like that, and all that jazz. But yeah, so the first thing we did when we started dating was we went to this park. At the time, I forget what it was called. I think it was called Communion Park or something like that. I don't remember the exact name. All I know is it was some park, but it's like private school that I used to go at the time, right? So we went there one day, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she's like, "Hey, Greg, you want to do it?" I'm like, "Do what?" I'm sitting here confused, kind of like I didn't get what she meant. So we started talking, hanging out, and then all of a sudden, she's like, "Hey, Greg, let's go in the..." Because at the time, there was a school, right? So it was the park. They had a football/baseball field right across from the park. And then there was these little close-ins. It was like a stone brick stall building, right? There was a little kitchen right there, I guess, where they make food, stuff like that, right? And so there was bathrooms to the far left and the far right. One was for boys and girls. They were locked, of course, because school wasn't in session. And there was a little wall in between, right? At that time, the park was kind of busy, but not really that busy. So it was iffy, but I still see people walking around. She's like, "Hey, Greg, let's do it." And I'm like, "Do what exactly?" She's like, birds and the bees, you know what I mean? I'm sure that you guys, older men or all the guys that watch my videos know what I'm talking about, right? She's like, "Greg, pull down your pants." I'm like, "What?" And at first, I was confused. She's like, "Do you want to do with me? Or do you want to do me?" I'm like, whoa. I'm 11 years old. You're 11 years old. And I don't have no, rubber or anything like that. I'm 11 years old. I don't think it's normal 11-year-olds to be doing that shit, right? It's just odd. And she's like, "Come on, Greg, let's just do it. It's your first time, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, but isn't it yours too?" She's like, "No, I've done it countless other times." I'm like, "What?" She didn't say countless other times, but she did say she's done it before. So at this time, in my head, I'm like, this is like the third day we dating this girl too, mind you, right? And all of a sudden, she wants me to have the big S word with her, right? And I'm just sitting here like, I'm like to her, "No, you know what? I'm not trying to get you P word, you know what I mean, and deal with like child support, you know what I mean. You guys know what I mean here, right?" And so she's like, "That's fine, whatever." I'm like, can we just take this slow? It's my first time dating anybody. I'm still new to this stuff. I'm still kind of a kid, you know what I mean? She's like, "Yeah, that's fine." So we started dating. We started going to the teen center. And then for some reason, she started coming to my house. And this isn't the second encounter with her, right? So I brought her back to my house with my mom. I was telling my mom, "Hey, I'm going to bring a friend over. Is that fine with you?" She's like, "Yeah, that's fine." So I bring her to my house, right? We come upstairs to my room to play some video games or whatever, not right? All of a sudden, she pushes me on the bed and hops on top of me. She's like, "Let's do it. Seriously, let's do it." I'm like, "Whoa, chill out." I'm like, "I just told you I didn't want to..." And I didn't tell my parents this at the time because I didn't want... I was 11 years old. It would be weird. She tried to force herself on me, like at the time, right? And it was weird, so... Because I'm, here, freaking out. I'm like, whoa, chill out, like chill out. And she's like, come on, let's do it. I pushed her up. I'm like, no, we're not doing it. So, after that whole incident, I stopped talking to her for like a day or two. And then after that, we started hanging out again. She mellowed down again. We started going. We went to this favorite, like, there was the time, there was this place I used to love going as a kid, right? It was called, I forget what it was called. I can't remember exactly. I know it was like a little, like, old-fashioned ice cream place, right? It had a lot of, like, sorry, I'm not trying to you guys, my bad. It had a lot of, like, frozen drinks, like slushies, it had ice cream. And it's like an old 1987 candy store, okay, right? It's still a lot of cool stuff. I mean, I'm talking about a lot of cool stuff. Like, you could get certain candies that at that time would probably cost a couple dollars to get, you know what I mean? At that place, you could buy like a freaking small mini Snicker bar for like a 25 cents. Like, he was a very good, nice old guy. I mean, even when I started growing up in my teen years, I still went there. Really nice old guy. But I went there. I ended up having money from doing chores and stuff like that. I ended up going there, buying me and her a slushie. And I talked to the little guy like I usually do, and we left, went on our way. So we started heading down the teen center, and all of a sudden she's like, let's play. I look away to do something, right? She's like, okay, I'll be right back. I'm like, what? Or she just said she'd be right back, right? So I'm in the way, and then all of a sudden you get a text message saying from her, come find me. Let's play hide and seek. So I'm like sitting like, what? So I started looking around the area for her. I couldn't find her, right? And then her text message saying, oh, I'm by the high school. So I book it down to high school, right? And I'm booking it down to high school. I hit the high school. She's like, oh no, I'm not there now. Now I'm at the by the liquor store / convenience store, right? Go down there. Not there then. And then so I'm like, you know what? Fuck this shit, right? So I go down to my favorite place in the world, teen center, go meet up with some friends, right? And then all of a sudden she's in the teen center, right? And then I'm like to her, wait, what are you doing in the teen center? You told me you were here and here and here. Shit. And at this time, I didn't know. She was treating me like complete shit. So I found out later on that all she wanted to do was have the big S word with me, just to brag about it. Because I was known in the town, I was known as the punk. I was known as the punk-ass biker kid with the temper and attitude. I used to beat bullies up. I wouldn't take shit from nobody. I was a typical bad boy, right? She just wanted to do me pretty much. Just to brag about that. Say, oh, yeah, I did the punk-ass kid that no one wanted to do in town. And all that shit. That's how I didn't know that, right? So I go to the teen center, and I'm talking to her and shit, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she's like, we went outside to talk a little bit, chill out, and she apologizes to it. So I kind-heartedly believed her that she was apologizing for what she did, right? But no, she just was still pulling me along. So the following day, we went to do some other stuff, like normal things, like we went down to the teen center again, was talking to other friends of mine, we started going to the park again, we started doing other things, right? And then a week later, she doesn't text me for a whole week, right? And then week later, we meet up to go do something, right? And then all of a sudden, she's like, we got these like glass bottle sodas, right? Or maybe it was plastic bottles. I can't remember. It was such a long time ago, right? Out of nowhere, she smacks you over the top of the head in an aggressive manner. Out of nowhere, like basically abusing me at this point, right? Smacks me on the top of the fucking head, dude, alright? And then I smack her on top of the head with mine. She's like, what the fuck's wrong with you, guy? Don't you know not to hit me? What the fuck you hitting me for? She's like, and all of a sudden we go back to the teen center, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I thought I would be just joking around. She's yelling at me, screaming at me. It's like, okay, and she walks in the teen center. I follow her, right? And then I go inside there, and then I'm like, can we talk outside real quick? And she's like, yeah, that's fine. Come outside. She's like, Greg, I'm sorry to tell you this, I'm dumping you. I'm like, what? At the time, all she wanted to do was have the big word with me. Didn't give a shit about me personally at all. She just wanted to use me for my D. Just to bitch and have the what do you want to call it? The fucking riz, the privileges, the fucking, the honor to brag about, saying, oh, I did the most anger management punk-ass motherfucking kid in the town that no one else wanted to do, right? She just wanted to do that, just to have that privilege to brag about that, okay? She didn't give a shit about me. So I'm like, why are you going to dump me? What the fuck did I do? I'm like to her. And so what happened was, she pissed enough where I grabbed the water bottle she had, and the drink she had in her hand, and I bought her, mind you, okay? Then I bought her this drink, alright? I bought it. I yanked it out of her hand, I'm like, fuck you, this is mine, because I bought this damn thing for you. And the teen center we were going to was run by the staff. So I walk outside with it, and the staff like, give her back the drink. I'm like, hey, her drink. I'm the one that bought it. Did you give it to her after you bought it? I'm like, yeah. So it's her drink. I'm like, no. So proceed to dump it out. They're like, all right, Greg, you're banned for 2 days from now. I'm like, all right, fine. 2 days pass. Come back to the teen center. And at this time, she stopped answering my text messages, everything, wouldn't call me, nothing, right? Come back to the damn teen center, okay? I see her, I'm like talking to her, and I come outside. I see an old friend of mine that I went to preschool with. His name was Christian, okay? And then I had another kid. I call him, he wasn't Asian, he was a mix of Asian or something. I forgot what he was. He was a karate kid, alright? So, we're outside, and then all of a sudden, I forgot what caused this. We got into a fight, right? Her and Diaz run away, right, okay? And then the Christian kid, he puts me in a headlock, okay, man? I'm like, where you going, Jody? Where you going? Christian puts me in a headlock, okay? You know what happened, man? This man put me in a headlock, and I proceeded to fucking punch him. Like, before I punched him, I jammed my fingers in his fucking eyeballs, alright? I gouged them in his eyeballs, alright? And I gave him a good old-fashioned punch to the bottom of the neck. He fell to the ground, wheezing up a storm. So I follow them. Then Diaz is like, you're not going no further. I'm like, what are you going to do about it, huh, shorty? What are you going to do about it, kid? Huh? Get the fuck out of my way, waste my girl. And then what happened was, I didn't know where I'm walking by him. This man does some shit you see out of a kung fu movie, alright? My man drop kicks me, alright? He drop kicks me. I go flying into a pile of fucking glass. I can't make this shit up now, man. He drop kicked me, alright? Into a pile of glass. So I get up, I'm like, you little fucking shit. I grab this big log. When I'm talking about a log, I'm talking about, I was a pretty strong motherfucking kid at 10 years old, alright? Or, sorry, 11 years old. Very strong, alright? I pick up a log that's probably from as long as a bench. You know those old bench tables in school, right? I picked it up and I swing it at the kid. This kid somehow jumps over it, catches the log, grabs it, and smacks me with it. Like something you would see out of the classic Hulk cartoon on Disney XD, alright? He smacks it. I go flying into the freaking glass again. At this point, I'm pissed, bro. So I grab a rock, and I start weaving these rocks. So at this time, I was playing a lot of dodgeball in school. I was extremely good at hitting people in the head with it. I started throwing rocks. A storm of rocks up, alright? At this kid, alright? And then one rock hit him in the back of the head pretty hard, but he didn't get knocked out. There was not even blood. This man took it like a bitch. This man took it like a freaking Hulk and walked off with it, alright? And then after that, that's when I started really, after the adrenaline, all the adrenaline waste wore off, right? That's when I started feeling my injuries, right, man? I had glass all on my back, alright? There was glass all on my legs, my back, the back of my arms, everywhere, dude. It was painful, alright? And then, so what happened was, after that, I chased them back to the house. They went to his friend's house. I started throwing rocks at the house. And I forgot, someone came out like, what the fuck you doing to my house? Oh, I'm like, oh, fuck you. And I'm like, shit, I get the fuck out of there, right? And so I ended up calling the cops, right? And at this time, years before this incident happened, the cops never liked this because I had ADHD, I had anger management, Tourette syndrome. I was a lot of problems, and what happened was we had problems with my dad. Dad doesn't have a high school education. He told the cops wrong about an incident that the cops got called, but said pronounced it the wrong way, and they thought he assaulted me and my sister. I almost got to jail for it. They labeled me as a problematic, special needs, autistic kid. And these 3 kids that basically beat me up, alright, man? I didn't even start the fight now, man, alright? I didn't start it. They're the ones that beat me up, right? Pretty freaking badly, okay? And so, I call the cops, talking to them, right? And, well, I call my parents first, and I call the cops. My parents come, I'm in a lot of pain on my back, so I'm on the freaking sign, the teen center, okay? And shit, the cops came after my parents came, they called them, and the cops said, the cops looked at me, seen all the injuries, right? You don't know what they put in the police report? They put in the fucking name of police report. No visible injuries. There was no jumping involved in this incident. They labeled me as that I did to myself. They're saying that I jumped into a pile of glass, my goddamn self, and injured my damn self. That I didn't get thrown into a pile of glass. That I didn't get beat up. That I didn't get punched multiple times by a kid that knew karate. Which, mind you, if you guys don't know, if you take a martial art class, you are not supposed to attack people unless you feel your life is threatened. I didn't threaten this kid's life. I had no business. I wasn't gonna fight him or nothing, bro. I just wanted to go talk to Josie, see what happened and why she dumped me like that. Alright? Oh. This kid didn't want to goddamn hear that shit. And the cops, later on, falsifies a police report, which, mind you, is against the law, and they did that shit. Mind you, but the police report thing, too, guys, wasn't they falsifies that damn thing, too? When I went to the hospital, I laid a day because my parents took me to one, okay? I had medical records. Problem is, I come from a very poor family. We couldn't afford a lawyer to go after these cops, alright? At all. Alright? And we had medical records that said that I got injured, yes. But at the end of the day, we didn't have the money to afford a good lawyer to use that thing as evidence, you know what I mean? So, there really wouldn't have been to do much anyways, probably. They could have, I don't know. There wasn't much we could have done. I didn't really have the money to afford a goddamn lawyer to do it either. To pay him for the case, mind you, either, okay? And so, it was a whole shit show and a half. But, I'm getting really emotional because a lot of these memories, I still remember. I went through so much shit as a kid. This is just one of those stories. That I went through a lot of shit. That was one of the incidents. And this wasn't the last time I heard from this group either, mind you, okay? This group, let's just say we got into it a few other times and a couple other circumstances, too. This ain't the last time I got involved with these kids. Alright. And if you guys definitely want to hear more about this story, or part 2, or any other future storytime videos, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, leave some feedback in the comments. Let me know what you liked about this video, and about future things, too. Another thing, too, guys. We are close to hitting 500 subscribers. Once we hit the 500 subscriber mark, I'm gonna be going to do a giveaway for Xbox and PlayStation. I'm gonna do a $50 gift card for PlayStation, Xbox giveaways, 1 and 1. So you'll be it'll be $100 in total. First winner gets to choose what out of the 2 gift cards, what one he wants. Second winner gets whatever's left on the other gift card, basically. So $50 PlayStation, $50 Xbox gift card. So if you guys want to be part of that and stay tuned with that, make sure to leave a comment, like and subscribe, and all that jazz. And I don't know, share this video to your friends, stuff like that. Let them know, you know what I mean? But yeah, with that out of the way, this would be Pyro Plays signing out. Catch you guys in the next Storytime video, alright? Peace.